Hello everyone, welcome to PSIR World. On this channel, I am starting a series of most important topics in political science, and these videos will be helpful for any kind of political science related exam like UGC NET JRF, UPSC PSIR Optional, or CUET PG, or any state assistant professor exam. So, in this video, we'll understand liberty in political theory and what are negative or positive liberty, and I'll also explain that which thinker supports negative or positive liberty. So let's get started. In simple terms, liberty refers to the condition in which individuals have the freedom to act according to their own will without any unnecessary restraint while respecting others' right. So simply we can say liberty means freedom, and these two words are used interchangeably. Liberty or freedom are the same, but the question is freedom from what and freedom to do what. So how various thinkers have defined liberty and what is liberty or freedom according to them. Rousseau says that freedom is obeying laws reflecting the general will of the political community. T.H. Green says that liberty is a positive power of doing or enjoying something worth doing or enjoying. He gave the concept of moral freedom. He says that liberty is a moral freedom. Hobbes says that a free man is he that in those things which by his strength and which he is able to is not hindered to do what he has a will to. Friedrich Hayek says that freedom is a state in which man is not subject to coercion by arbitrary will of others. John Locke says that man is free to act without subject to arbitrary will of another within the allowance of moral law. So, what are the types of liberty? Isa Berlin is the person who made crucial distinction between two kinds of liberty in his 1958 lecture. What is the name of that lecture? If you know, comment below. So, he conceptualized two kinds of liberty: negative liberty, which he defined as freedom from external interference, and positive liberty, he defined as freedom to control one's own life or fulfill one's potential. We'll understand these two kinds of liberty in detail in next slides. So let us understand negative liberty first. It is freedom from something, which can be anything. So definition of negative liberty is it is absence of external constraints or interference, especially by the state. It applies to other individual also, but it is more focused on state. The core question of negative liberty is how far I am free from the interference. It means that how long I am free to do anything without any interference. The focus of negative liberty is on individual autonomy, protection from the state overreach, so that state doesn't misuse its power. The key idea of negative liberty is the area within which the individual is left to do or be what they want to do or be. It is little bit tricky, but it's very simple. That it simply says that till what extent the individual is free to do anything whatever he want without any interference. And the negative liberty is supported by the classical liberals and the libertarians. So let us discuss the thinkers who supports negative liberty and their works. So Isa Berlin, his most important work is Two Concept of Liberty, 1958. This is the lecture which I was talking about. So remember this name, the Two Concept of Liberty, year 1958. He coined the distinction between negative and positive liberty. We already know this. Now John Stuart Mill or J.S. Mill, his most popular work is On Liberty, 1859. He defined liberty as the absence of coercion and he gave the harm principle. Harm principle says that any person is allowed to do anything whatever he want until or unless it doesn't harm any other person. Thomas Hobbes, his most popular work is Leviathan, published in 1651. He says that liberty is absence of external impediments. Adam Smith is a very popular supporter of negative liberty. His work is The Wealth of the Nations, 1776. He believed that individual liberty thrives in a free market with limited state intervention. So he gave importance to free market and he believed that free market supports individual liberty. Herbert Spencer, his work is The Man versus the State, 1884. He advocates minimal state, maximum individual freedom. Thomas Paine, his work is The Rights of Man, published in 1791. He advocates minimal government and natural right. He famously said that state is necessary evil because state is required for minimal government, so it is a necessary evil according to him. So these are other thinkers who supports negative liberty. These three thinkers together known as libertarians. So remember the name of these three people: Milton Friedman, Robert Nozick, Friedrich Hayek, as libertarians. So Milton Friedman, his work is Capitalism and Freedom, 1962. He believed that economic freedom is essential to the political freedom. So he advocates economic freedom or free market economy. Robert Nozick, his work is Anarchy State and Utopia, year 1974. He advocates night watchman state. Night watchman state means it should just watch, it should just regulate, it should not interfere in something, particularly the economy or the free market. Friedrich Hayek, his work is The Constitution of Liberty, 1960. He advocates the classical liberal view of negative freedom. So now let's discuss the positive liberty, which is freedom to do something or freedom to be something. So definition of positive liberty is it is freedom to realize one's true self or achieve self-mastery. The core question of positive liberty is who governs me. It means that who has the power to control my choices, to control the things one need to realize their true self. So the focus of positive liberty is on self-mastery, autonomy, empowerment. So the key idea in positive liberty is that freedom to be one's own master. It is supported by modern liberals, socialists, communitarians. So what the positive liberty says that state should provide these necessary condition or the things which one need to realize their one's true self. It advocates the state's intervention, that state should do some kind of social welfare, some kind of empowerment. So now let's discuss some thinkers who supports positive liberty and their important works. So the first thinker is Jean-Jacques Rousseau or J.J. Rousseau. His work is The Social Contract, 1762. He says that man is born free but everywhere in chains. He says that general will empowers freedom. T.H. Green, most famous work is The Lectures on the Principle of Political Obligation, 1885. He says that positive liberty as self-realization. Charles Taylor, his famous work is What's Wrong with the Negative Liberty. He criticized the negative liberty for ignoring social conditions like poverty, inequality, etc. Amartya Sen, his famous work is The Development as Freedom in 1999. He believed freedom as both the means and ends of the development, and he is famous for his capability approach. He believes that state should make the condition as such that it make the person capable to achieve his potential or achieve his goals. Another thinker is L.T. Hobhouse. His work is Liberalism 1911 and the Element of Social Justice 1922. He says that liberty must be combined with social reform and the state should ensure the condition for individual development. Another thinker who supports positive liberty is R.S. Tawney, The Acquisitive Society 1920 and Equality 1931. His critique of laissez-faire capitalism or the free market economy, and he advocates for moral socialism. H.J. Lasky is also positive liberty supporter. His works are A Grammar of Politics 1925, The State in Theory and Practice 1935. He promoted pluralism and socialist liberalism. He emphasized that economic equality is essential for liberty. Now, one important point to remember that Isaiah Berlin, in his two concept of liberty, he warned against the authoritarian misuse of positive liberty. Positive liberty gives state the authority or the power to intervene in the individual life. So it can be misused by the state. Therefore, he supported the negative liberty because it protect the individual from the state interference. So let's compare the negative or positive liberty so that we can understand these concepts more better. So the view of freedom for negative liberty is it is freedom from the interference. Whereas in positive liberty, it is freedom to achieve self-mastery. The role of state in negative liberty, it is minimal. State can intervene only to prevent harm. Otherwise, state is not allowed to intervene. Whereas in positive liberty, state role is active. It means state can intervene. And why state will intervene? It will enable individuals to flourish. The philosophical base for negative liberty comes from the classical liberalism or libertarianism, whereas for the positive liberty, it comes through modern liberalism, idealism, and socialism. The most popular thinkers of negative liberty are Locke, Mill, Nozick, Hayek, and others we have discussed before. And for positive liberty, Rousseau, Green, Hegel, Saint, Taylor are the most popular thinkers. What is the danger or risk with the negative liberty? It promotes social injustice and inequality. Whereas the positive liberty can lead to authoritarianism in the name of collective good. So this slide is a collection of various statements on liberty by various thinkers. You can screenshot this, or I will upload the PPT of this video on my Telegram channel. You can download it. You can read these by yourself, and these will help you in various examinations. So if you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe this channel. Comment below if you have any doubt or you are facing any difficulty in understanding. Stay tuned for more helpful videos on PSIR World. Thank you so much for watching this video.